priorities during our ongoing tenure in the Security Council. Terrorism remains one of the gravest threats to humanity. The UN Security Council, in the past 2 decades, has evolved an important architecture built primarily around the counter-terrorism sanctions regime to combat this menace. This has been very effective in putting those countries on notice that had turned terrorism into a state-funded enterprise. Despite this, the threat of terrorism is only growing and expanding, particularly in Asia and Africa, as successive reports of the 1267 Sanctions Committee monitoring reports have highlighted. The technological innovations and breakthroughs of the past 2 decades have been transformative in the way the world functions in every respect. These new emerging technologies, from virtual private networks and encrypted messaging services to blockchain and virtual currencies, offer a very promising future for a wide array of economic and social benefits for humankind. However, there is a flip side, especially where terrorism is concerned. These very technologies have also thrown up new challenges for governments and regulatory bodies due to their potential vulnerability for misuse by non-state actors, given the very nature of some of these technologies and the nascent regulatory environment.
Cutting across to some news in brief now, viewers from across the globe. An intruder attacked the husband of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi with a hammer in the couple's San Francisco home yesterday while searching for the Democratic leader. Speaker Nancy Pelosi was in Washington at the time of the attack. Paul Pelosi was severely beaten, suffering blunt force trauma after he was struck several times in the head. He had been admitted to the Zuckerberg San Francisco General Hospital for his injuries that the hospital has confirmed. President Joe Biden decried the attack on House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's husband during remarks at a Democratic event in Philadelphia Friday evening. The president said that he called Speaker Pelosi with support and he delivered a full-throated condemnation of the despicable act that he said had no place in America. A motorcade carrying House Speaker Nancy Pelosi arrived at Zuckerberg San Francisco General Hospital, where her husband Paul is being treated following an attack in their San Francisco home. Pelosi was in Washington when the assault occurred and flew back to San Francisco International Airport. A shooting was reported near a Pittsburgh church where a funeral was being held out that left 6 people wounded, including one person who was hospitalized in the critical condition. The funeral at the Destiny of Faith Church was for a man who had been killed in a shooting in Pittsburgh earlier this month. No arrest has been made so far. A funeral service was held on Friday for a Las Vegas police officer who was killed in a shootout during a domestic violence call earlier this month. Iranian security forces opened fire on demonstrations in a southeastern city that has seen weeks of unrest and nationwide demonstrations. Located in Iran's long restive Sistan and Balochistan province, Zahedan has seen the deadliest violence so far in the weeks of the protests that have gripped Iran. In the demonstrations in the city erupted in part over a rape allegation against a senior police officer there. In fact, the protest over the September death of 22-year-old Mahsa Amini have also inflamed most of the country. And slipping into a very short break here now, viewers, getting you updates on the other side of how Centre cracks whip on social media giants amends guidelines for rollout. It's the end of the big tech rush. And also getting you updates of how caught red-handed in the biggest fake news story. Now the wire set to face legal action from Amit Walbia. Stay tuned to Republic. We'll be back after a very short break.
Fire that broke out in Kishtwar of JNK. The attempts are still on to douse the fire.
The Kerala Secretary of the PFI, C.A. Rauf, has been arrested. The national capital's oldest Chhat Puja Ghat are taken care of so that people can celebrate in a clean environment.
I think news is about serving the audience with news, not trying to buy landing pages. You're in a very strong position to make that change. You can go to these channels and say, if you believe in your content, then let your content get you the audience. Why don't you take that decisive step?
Tell the organization, if you feel uncomfortable doing it for all genres, do it only for news. It is your decision to tell us whether you want the entire session to be knocked off or not.
United Nations meeting in Mumbai shares intricate details bearing the Mumbai terror plot before the world.
मैंने एक शख्स को देखती हूँ जिसके हाथ में बड़ी सी गन है, उसके चेहरे पे कोई डर नहीं था, हम लोगों को मार के उसे खुशी मिल रही है.
This forum is very appropriate to bring attention to the issue of fighting terrorism.
When this news agency says Britain drops behind India to become the world's 6th largest economy, the former British colony jumped past the UK in 3 months to become the 5th largest economy. They are describing India after 75 years as a former colony.
The British interaction with us was only 190 years out of a total history of 7,000 years. So if we reclaim what is legitimately ours and shed aside the colonial
Now viewers, coming across to some more breaking updates that we are getting in a big lead in the TRS versus BJP poaching controversy. The police officials will send 2 leaked audio clips to the forensic lab to check the authenticity of the audio tapes as well. Now this comes after there were 2 audio tapes which were leaked in the alleged MLA's poaching controversy that has been unraveling since quite some time now, viewers. And we are now seeing that there is a big lead in the TRS versus BJP poaching controversy where the investigation is being carried out by the authorities. And now in the latest that we're picking up, the police has confirmed to us that they will be sending these 2 leaked audio clips to the forensic lab to check the authenticity of the audio as well. And this has of course come after 2 audio tapes which were leaked in the alleged MLA's poaching controversy as well. My colleague Aneri is on the ground getting us all the updates on this big story. Aneri, tell us more about these 2 audio clips, in fact, that had been accessed. These were audio clips that had been leaked. The authenticity of it is going to be confirmed by the authorities. Tell us more about what really has been achieved in the investigation so far. Aneri, if you can hear me now, there seemed to be an audio issue, but if you can hear me now about the 2 audio clips that had been leaked, we are being told that the police is going to send that for authentication of these 2 audio clips, and also tell our viewers about the investigation so far. What are the authorities and your sources in the police telling you? All right, we'll connect that audio line with Aneri in just a bit, but this is a big update that we're picking up, viewers, with respect to the TRS versus BJP poaching controversy that had unraveled, where 2 audio tapes, in fact, had been leaked as well. In that, we could have seen the kind of discussions that were being carried out over the poaching as well. And now we are being told that the police authorities are going to send these 2 leaked audio clips to the forensic lab to check the authenticity of the audio. Aneri is back with us on the broadcast. Aneri, if you can hear me now, tell us more about these audio tapes and the investigation that is being carried out by the police officials so far. And the authenticity of these audio tapes is now going to be checked as well.
That's right, Priyanka. We have been seeing how there's a massive controversy over poaching of the TRS MLAs has been going on since last 3 days in the state of Telangana. And yesterday, we had seen that there were two audio tapes which were leaked from TRS sources. But now we also see that the police officials will be sending these two audio tapes for the to the forensic lab for to check the authenticity of these audio tapes which have been leaked in the controversial case of the poaching of MLAs, because we have been seeing how there's a massive face-off which has been going on between the TRS and the BJP, but also at the same time we have been seeing that BJP clearly hit out at the TRS, stating that where is the proof of the 400 crores, whose money is that, and from where did that money come from, is the questions being raised by the BJP. And also in the same time, we have been seeing that how there are massive developments, because police has also approached the Telangana High Court into this matter after the APD court had rejected the remand of these three accused. We'll be right back after a short break. Keep watching Republic TV.
Style? For me, it's the pursuit of timeless elegance. Crisp, clean, classic, subtle brilliance. You don't know what it is that catches your eye, but it does, you know. The cut, the color, the lines. There's something in the essence of the evergreen. You feel special, selected. That's when I know I found the right fit, when I feel selected.
Good evening and welcome, viewers. Just minutes back, the government of India finally did a great thing. It changed the IT intermediary rules. Simple English, from now on, big tech, Twitter, Facebook, Insta, all these big billion-dollar companies for whom India is the biggest market, they all have to now quietly comply with India's laws and India's constitution, and I'm loving it. These American companies like Facebook and Twitter can no longer do whatever they want in India and claim they will comply with Silicon Valley rules. If they don't comply, they are free to get out, pack up, leave our country. You want to make money in India, you follow India's rules. This is the new approach, and viewers, I like this approach. Things have to change in our country. There has to be a quantum shift. Approaches have to change. We've got to learn to be more direct about what we want. For example, last night I said that you cannot have an American citizen,
And here's some news in brief from the world of sports. After BCCI announced its landmark decision to introduce equal match fees for male and female cricketers, the England Cricket Board announced a $3.5 million increase in funding for women's regional game to run until the end of 2024. BCCI President Roger Binney heaped praises on Virat Kohli and labelled his match-winning innings like a dream and a treat for the viewers. Chirag Shetty and Satvik Sairaj Renkireddy defeated former world champions and top-seeded Takuro Hoki and Yugo Kobayashi of Japan in men's doubles quarterfinals to reach the semi-finals at the French Open 2022. Host Australia has been split the points in the Group 1 match of the ICC T20 World Cup against arch-rivals England as rain spoiled another game of cricket at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Both games scheduled for October 28 at the Melbourne Cricket Ground had to be abandoned due to rain, as Afghanistan and Ireland shared the spoils as well. Manchester United's Brazil winger Antony vowed to continue with his tricks after accusations he was showboating during his side's 3-0 win over Sheriff Tiraspol. The Spanish prosecutors on Friday dropped all fraud and corruption charges against Brazil forward Neymar and other defendants in a case over his transfer to Barcelona from Santos in 2013. And slipping into a very short break here now, viewers, getting you updates on the other side of how the centre cracks whip on social media giants amidst guidelines for rollout. It's the end of the big tech Raj. And also how caught red-handed in the biggest fake news story. Now the wire set to face legal action from Amit Malviya. Stay tuned for updates on the other side.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 10 years, with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, mass comm, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
It's hybrid by nature, a silent predator. The new breed rises above all others. A new breed of SUVs. The advanced Grand Vitara rule every road.
When this news agency says Britain drops behind India to become the world's 6th largest economy, the former British colony jumped past the UK in 3 months to become the 5th largest economy. They are describing India after 75 years as a former colony.
The British interaction with us was only 190 years out of a total history of 7,000 years. So if we reclaim what is legitimately ours and shed aside the colonial mindset, that's something that should be celebrated. But these people are not accepting that.
Elon Musk completes his Twitter takeover, sacks the top Twitter officials including the CEO, Parag Agarwal.
Rahul Gandhi was waded into the poaching controversy, saying that the TRS and the BJP are two sides of the same coin.
Fire has broken out in a godown in Kurla area of Mumbai. 8 fire tenders have been deployed.
Welcome back, viewers. One of the biggest stories that we're tracking for you is that of Amit Malviya, who is now going to be taking legal action against The Wire for tarnishing his image, is something that he has stated. Here's a full report on what's to be expected on the legal action that will be taken by Amit Malviya.
It was the biggest fake news story. It may just be the most grave case of journalistic malpractice. The Wire is exposed and is all set to face legal action.
On October 11, 2022, Meta's communication head, Mr. Andy Stone, issued a categorical denial and stated that the documents presented by The Wire in its report were fabricated and that the exchequer status had been mischaracterized. Consequently, I am left with no option other than to seek appropriate legal remedies against The Wire and its management and reporters.
First, we addressed our questions to the founding editor of The Wire, who refused to take any questions. Then we dialed Wire's ombudsman, who once again said that she wouldn't like to respond to any of our questions.
I had 3 specific questions with regards to the statement that has been put out by The Wire, which basically does not cover 3 aspects. Number 1, with regards to why exactly wouldn't The Wire bring in a technical expert on a story which requires proof from the third party?
These are all important questions and they will be answered at some point. But at the moment, I'm not going to speak on this.
The Editors Guild of India had issued an elaborate statement on tech fog 290 days ago. They wanted government and judicial action on the basis of The Wire story.
Now, in a meek U-turn, the Editors Guild of India issues a statement which effectively gives an exit route to The Wire. Not a single line of condemnation. In fact, the Editors Guild of India refuses to call out India's biggest journalistic malpractice.
In fact, the entire ecosystem that enabled the wire has gone silent now. From defending so-called fact-checkers in the Delhi police net, to silence on fake news peddled by Lutyens. Much has been overlooked, but can the biggest case of fake news be ignored? Bureau Report, Republic TV.
And slipping into a very short break here now, viewers, getting you updates on the other side is the Aam Aadmi Party versus BJP over funds to the Waqf Board. BJP fires fresh questions. And how the air quality in the national capital plunges to severe category. Residents raise concerns on the same. Getting you all the updates on the other side after a short break.
At the United Nations meeting in Mumbai shares intricate details bearing the Mumbai terror plot before the world.
मैंने एक शख्स को देखती हूँ जिसके हाथ में बड़ी सी गन है, उसके चेहरे पे कोई डर नहीं था। हम लोगों को मार के उसे खुशी मिल रही है।
This forum is very appropriate to bring attention to the issue of fighting terrorism.
When this news agency says Britain drops behind India to become the world's 6th largest economy, the former British colony jumped past the UK in 3 months to become the 5th largest economy. They are describing India after 75 years as a former colony.
The British interaction with us was only 190 years out of a total history of 7,000 years. So if we reclaim what is legitimately ours and shed aside the colonial mindset, that's something that should be celebrated. But these people are not accepting that.
Elon Musk completes his Twitter takeover, sacks the top Twitter officials, including the CEO, Parag Agarwal.
Rahul Gandhi was waded into the poaching controversy, saying that the TRS and the BJP are two sides of the same coin.
Fire has broken out in a godown in Kurla area of Mumbai. 8 fire tenders have been deployed.
Top headlines at 10 a.m. Major tragedy averted, but even as Indigo downplays the fire, DGCA orders probe. Centre cracks whip on social media giants, amends guidelines for rollout. It's the end of the big tech trudge. AAP versus BJP over funds to the Waqf Board. BJP fires fresh questions. Court red-handed in the biggest fake news story. Now the wire set to face legal action from Amit Malviya. Air quality in the national capital plunges to severe category. Residents raise concerns. Thanks for tuning in this Saturday morning. I'm Samiksha Srivastava. We have a lot lined up for you in this edition. First up, starting with breaking news coming in from Gujarat. Now, even as AAP has been eyeing to come to power in the state of Gujarat, we are now given to understand that the AAP will fight elections in Gujarat with Chief Minister's face. The party will run a campaign as well for the face of Chief Minister and may ask for suggestions from the people. Also given to understand that Kejriwal will also be holding a press conference in Surat today, during which an announcement is possible on the CM face. AAP will also field candidates on all 182 seats in Gujarat. Internal tussle, of course, between Isauddin Gadvi and Gopal Italia is expected. AAP has declared that they will be seeking opinions from the party ground level cadre as well as over the CM face. They will be declaring either today or day after. Kejriwal going back but promises to So that's a news break coming in this hour. AAP eyeing Gujarat now to contest 182 seats. And Priyanka is also joining us live for more insights on that. Priyanka, give us more details on AAP's campaign in Gujarat and of course about the CM face, what we're given to understand.
Well, Samiksha, we have seen that the Aam Aadmi Party had made that declaration a while ago that they will be contesting on all 182 constituencies. That was one of the first statements that had been made by Arvind Kejriwal to show that they were serious about contesting in the state of Gujarat in the upcoming elections. And now, of course, we see that a new announcement with respect to the Chief Minister face that had been promised to several of these top contenders of the Gujarat leadership. As you pointed out, Ishudan Gadvi and Gopal Italia are the main two leaders in Gujarat that we are seeing who are campaigning for the Aam Aadmi Party, coordinating with the ground level cadre as well. And of course, are two of the known faces in Aam Aadmi Party, at least in the state of Gujarat as well. And of course, both of them, we were being told, had been promised this chief ministerial candidature before they had joined the party as well. Gopal Italia, of course, keeping the Patidar factor in mind, had also been promised to be given a very prominent seat, a prominent position in the Aam Aadmi Party and to be made as the chief ministerial face as well. But apart from that, we had also seen that Ishudan Gadvi had been promised the same before he had joined the party, and he had been promised that he will be somebody who will be seated inside of the Vidhan Sabha and he will be given a seat that will be winnable for the Aam Aadmi Party, so that there can be some contestants, some candidates as well inside of the assembly who can raise the issues of Aam Aadmi Party. Now, of course, this will remain to be seen as to how the internal tussle between Ishudan Gadvi and Gopal Italia will also be carried out, because we now be being told that Arvind Kejriwal and Bhagwant Mann are in Gujarat once again, and they will be going towards Surat and other places in the state of Gujarat as well, where they will be having meetings and speaking to the ground level cadre to understand who really is the leader, who really is the party cadre choosing as the chief minister face as well. So that will be something that will be discussed in these meetings and chopals, if I may, that will be carried out by the Aam Aadmi Party at a ground level to understand who is the leader that has more backing as well. But as of now, we do see that an internal tussle that can be impending in the Aam Aadmi Party, because Ishudan Gadvi and Gopal Italia, both of them had been promised the chief ministerial ship and the chief ministerial candidature as well in the Gujarat Assembly. And of course, it will have to be also seen where Ishudan Gadvi and Gopal Italia will be fighting from as well under the Aam Aadmi Party ticket. Gopal Italia, of course, had been also said he is a leader of Surat and perhaps will be given a ticket from Surat as well. But Ishudan Gadvi as well will have to be adjusted in some of the seats that are easily winnable for the Aam Aadmi Party in that case. So all of those nuances will be figured out and ironed out by Arvind Kejriwal as he is in the state. And today will be carried out several chopals where they will be taking a poll from the ground level cadre as to who their leader, who they believe can be made as a good chief ministerial candidate.
Yes. Also, Priyanka, how do you read into this Gopal Italia, who could be fielded by the AAP as a CM face, given the fact that he has made several controversial remarks in the past?
Well, that is something that the Aam Aadmi Party has completely sidestepped, and they do not believe that it is an issue for them to be fighting at all, because they have completely sidestepped this entire issue and they have stated that they are completely backing Gopal Italia, and that this is the BJP's conspiracy to dig out older videos of Gopal Italia and then make them viral once again. And we had seen the kind of demeanor of Gopal Italia himself when we had also confronted him, and he had stated, and he had in fact made a mockery of it and stated that this is not an issue at all. So it seems as though Aam Aadmi Party, Arvind Kejriwal are completely backing Gopal Italia. They are not perturbed by the kind of videos that had come to light of him making these kind of suggestions against a particular religion, and then of course also making those kind of remarks against the Prime Minister, using casteist and misogynistic remarks as well in those videos, and something that has not been affected, that has not affected the Aam Aadmi Party, Arvind Kejriwal, Bhagwant Mann, Ishudan Gadvi or any of the leaders for that matter.
Yes. Priyanka, thank you for that. We'll keep coming back to you. So, developing story coming in from Polbang, Gujarat, where AAP is expected to run a campaign for the CM face. Moving on then to more news, an RTI response that has shown that the Delhi government under Arvind Kejriwal has granted the Delhi Waqf Board more than 100 crore of public funds in the last 7 years. In just the past 1 year, the AAP government, we are told, has granted the Waqf Board more than 62 crore rupees. Now, hitting out at the Delhi government over the alleged grants to the Delhi Waqf Board, the BJP has said that the Delhi government is playing politics of polarization. So of course, BJP, they're hitting out at the Aam Aadmi Party over the RTI response that which shows that the Delhi government under Kejriwal has granted the Delhi Waqf Board over 100 crores of public funds in the last 7 years. In fact, in just last 1 year, the AAP has granted the Waqf Board more than 62 crore rupees. We have a reaction as well coming in from the BJP. Let's listen in.
A huge RTI expose done yesterday that 101 crores was granted to Waqf Board by the Delhi government from the taxpayers' money, and only in the last 1 year 62 crores was granted. Now another expose from an RTI that the salaries and the payments made to the imams and the muezzins was increased by the Arvind Kejriwal government, and almost 31.3 crores was paid in last 7 years, of which 20 crores was paid just in 2 years between 2019 to 2021. At the same period of time, Arvind Kejriwal had no money for Asha workers. At the same period of time, Arvind Kejriwal had no money for the DDU college or the salaries of teachers or for 13,000 SC, ST, OBC students who wanted coaching. At the same period of time, Arvind Kejriwal had no money to clean up Yamuna Ji so that there would be no pratibandh on Chhat Puja. At the same period of time, Arvind Kejriwal was putting ban on firecrackers and not allowing Hindus to celebrate their festival. But this bonanza was given to Waqf Board. This bonanza was given to imams only because of the appeasement politics. Did Arvind Kejriwal at the same time grant such salary hikes to Hindu Pandits, to Sikh Granthis? And there are only 185 mosques which were granted this kind of huge salary hike bonanza for imams and muezzins.
तुष्टीकरण की राजनीति के चलते हुए वो हर महीने 14 करोड़ वक्फ बोर्ड को देने के लिए पैसा है उनके पास। साल में 101 करोड़ रुपया उन्होंने वक्फ बोर्ड को दिया और वक्फ बोर्ड के माध्यम से दिल्ली के मदरसों और मस्जिदों में काम करने वाले इमामों को सैलरी देने का काम किया है। दिल्ली में अरविंद केजरीवाल की सरकार जहां एक और जब हिंदुओं के पर्व त्योहार आते तो उनको नहीं मनाया जाए, इसके लिए वो कदम उठाते हैं, चाहे वो दीपावली हो, दीपावली पे पटाखे पर प्रतिबंध हो, या छठ पूजा पर यमुना घाटों पर काम नहीं करना हो सरकार के द्वारा, और एक तरफ वक्फ बोर्ड हो उसके माध्यम से मुल्ला मौलवियों को सैलरी देने का काम करते हैं। ये तुष्टीकरण की राजनीति आम आदमी पार्टी करती है, जो एक हिंदू विरोधी के साथ साथ वो तुष्टीकरण, एक विशेष धर्म के लोगों के तुष्टीकरण का काम करते हैं। मैं अरविंद केजरीवाल सरकार से पूछना चाहता हूं, आपके पास 101 करोड़ रुपया वक्फ बोर्ड के लिए है, लेकिन दूसरी तरफ आपके पास मंदिरों के पुजारियों के लिए सैलरी देने के लिए पैसे नहीं हैं। दूसरा सवाल है कि वक्फ बोर्ड के जो चेयरमैन हैं वो आपके खास विधायक हैं, वो लगातार भ्रष्टाचार के आरोपों में, गंभीर आरोप उनके ऊपर हैं। वक्फ बोर्ड की ज़मीनों पर कब्जा किया जा रहा है, उनकी ज़मीनों के जो मस्जिदों के स्कूल तोड़कर वहाँ दुकानें बनाकर उनका कॉमर्शियलाइजेशन किया जा रहा है और उससे पैसे की उगाही हो रही है। एक तरफ वक्फ बोर्ड की ज़मीनों पर अवैध रूप से कब्जा है और उसी वक्फ बोर्ड को दिल्ली में अरविंद केजरीवाल की सरकार 100 करोड़ से ज़्यादा की ग्रांट देकर तुष्टीकरण की राजनीति कर रही है। भारतीय जनता पार्टी और दिल्ली की जनता इसके खिलाफ है।
अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ने अब तक 100 करोड़ रुपया वक्फ बोर्ड को दिया है और ये पैसा जो अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ने ऐलान किया था कि 20,000 रुपया मौलवी को और 10,000 रुपया उनके सहायक को दिया जाएगा, उसके लिए बंटित किया गया। लेकिन दूसरी तरफ शिक्षा के नाम पर जब लोन लेने के लिए हमारे बच्चे गए तो केवल पूरे साल में 2 लोगों को लोन दिया गया। केवल 2 लोगों को कहा गया कि पैसा नहीं है अभी हमारे पास, हम लोन नहीं दे सकते। और उधर जब माइनॉरिटी के बच्चे जिनकी फीस रिम्बर्समेंट होनी थी उनको भी पैसे नहीं दिए गए, ये कहकर कि हमारे पास पैसे नहीं है। हमारे सिख बच्चों को भी माइनॉरिटी में फीस रिम्बर्स नहीं हो पा रही, जो कि SC के और ST फंड्स में पैसे होते हैं माइनॉरिटीज के लिए। एक तरफ सिख बच्चों को उनकी फीस भी रिफंड नहीं की जा रही माइनॉरिटी कोटे में, और दूसरी तरफ 100 करोड़ रुपए से ज्यादा दिया जा रहा है। मुझे लगता है कि ये एक बहुत ज्यादा अपीजमेंट है एक पर्टिकुलर रिलीजन के लोगों की, जो कि देश के लिए अच्छा नहीं है, हमारे बच्चों के भविष्य के लिए अच्छा नहीं है, एजुकेशन के लिए अच्छा नहीं है। मैं अरविंद केजरीवाल जी से आग्रह करता हूं ये सारा पैसा वापस रिकवर करें और सबको बराबरी तौर पर मान्यता दें। ऐसा नहीं है कि एक धर्म के लोगों के लिए विशेष तौर पर 100 करोड़ रुपया दिया जाए और दूसरे धर्म के बच्चों को भी फीस रिइंबर्स ना की जाए। ये बहुत बड़ा गुनाह और पाप है अरविंद केजरीवाल जी, हमारे बच्चों के साथ बेइंसाफी है।
And Harsha also reporting live, getting us all those updates. Harsha, another new allegation that's been leveled by the BJP's Shehzad Poonawalla, saying that it's not just the funding which amounts to over 100 crore rupees. Kejriwal also paid salaries to the imams which ran into crores of rupees in the last 7 years.
Exactly, Samisha, we are getting to know not only BJP spokespersons but also Delhi BJP now senior leaders is also hitting it out on Aam Aadmi Party government, because for all the favorable reasons, for all the non-payment which Aam Aadmi Party government has still now done of government employees. No payment has been given to government employees, no payment has been given to DDU workers, DDU teachers, ASHA workers, the Shiksha with the contract teachers, the government employees, the MCD who has been working dedicatedly in Delhi, all have not been paid yet. For paying them, Aam Aadmi government cited the lack of finances with the government, because of which it was not able to pay them. But on the other side, Aam Aadmi Party government in the RTI file, they accepted that they have paid rupees 101 crore to the Waqf board, and not only rupees 101 crore, there was different sum of amount which was paid in different years in the span of 7 years. In 2015-16, they paid almost rupees 62 crores to Waqf board. In 2021-2022, some 39 crore was paid. Some 39 crore was paid, and eventually these large sum of amount was paid to salaries were also paid to imams and maulanas who were working in masjids and mosque as well, and the sum is around 33.71 crores as salaries which is being paid. And now we have heard the voices of Shehzad Poonawalla, Adesh Gupta, now Manjinder Singh Sirsa also hitting it hard at Aam Aadmi Party government, that on the one side they are doing to woo Hindu voters before Gujarat election. They are saying that the images of Goddess Lakshmi and God Ganesh should be done on currency notes. On the other side, they are doing appeasement politics of minorities, and this is the kind of politics which Arvind Kejriwal government is being doing in national capital. Back to you.
All right, thank you for that, Harsha. So Harsha getting us all those details. BJP, of course, training guns at the Aam Aadmi with respect to the funding of the Delhi Waqf Board, saying that not just over 100 crore rupees was paid to the Delhi Waqf Board in last so many years, but also the fact that the imams have been paid salaries which ran into crores of rupees in last 7 years. And for now, moving on to more news coming in from across the country. Taking stock of the incident, the DGCA has ordered a detailed probe into the cause and suitable follow-up action that shall be taken in relation to the flight operation with regard to the Indigo flight. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Civil Aviation has also ordered officials to submit a report into the incident after looking into it. The air quality of the national capital continues to deplete. Now, the latest forecast shows that the air quality will remain in very poor category for the next 3 days.
पूरे साल से फूलते रहते हैं। फिलहाल गर्मी दुनिया भर का प्रदूषण है, प्रदूषण बहुत है। हाँ, पूरी आँख में जलन होती है, हर चीज़ होती है, इसीलिए।
In a big development, the Cyberabad police has moved the Telangana High Court. Now, the police has submitted a remand copy against the verdict of ACB court order which released 3 accused who allegedly attempted to poach the case. Uddhav camp MLA Kailash Patil staged protest in Osmanabad over several issues of farmers extending their support. The farmers joined the Uddhav camp. Meanwhile, the protest turned violent as the farmers vandalized and attacked public property as well. Mega crackdown on the PFI continues in Kerala. The National Investigation Agency has now arrested 13 absconding accused in the case. The accused was absconding and hailed from Kerala's Palakkad area. New IT rules will have profound impact on intermediaries like Twitter, Facebook, YouTube and Instagram, making them accountable to users and Government of India, thereby marking the end of rules which framed by the big tech firms which see themselves as above the sovereign laws. In wake of the development, the IT ministry will also hold a press briefing today. BJP's IT cell head Amit Malviya said that he's decided to file criminal and civil proceedings against news website The Wire and alleged that they forged documents with a view to malign and tarnish his reputation. The matter pertains to meta stories which were retracted by the news website. AAP will fight elections in Gujarat with Chief Minister's face. The party will run a campaign for the face of the Chief Minister. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal will also hold a news conference in Surat today on the same matter. After officially taking over Twitter, Elon Musk in a statement said that Twitter may change its content moderation policies. Musk further said that comedy is now legal on Twitter. An intruder attacked the husband of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi with a hammer in the couple's San Francisco home. This while Speaker Nancy Pelosi was in Washington at the time of the attack. Meanwhile, Pelosi's husband has been shifted to the hospital for immediate medical treatment. Condemning the attack, Biden said that measures to be taken to avoid such despicable attack.
He said that he's doing okay. He went to the hospital, was operated on. And he seems to be coming along well. He's in good spirits. The whole family's there. While this invasion is ongoing, the news reports indicate it was intended to be an attack on the house Nancy Pelosi lives in, the third-ranking person in the United States in line to be president.
And breaking news coming in, the Mumbai NCB has filed a 200-page charge sheet against comedian Bharti Singh and her husband as well before the court. They were arrested in the 2022 in connection with the drugs case. They are currently out on bail, but the Mumbai NCB having filed a 200-page charge sheet against comedian Bharti Singh as well as her husband Harsh Limbachia. Sandeep reporting live on this from Mumbai. Sandeep, if you could give us more details on this charge sheet that has been filed by the Mumbai NCB.
So as far as the case is concerned, remember in 2020, November 21 case was in fact registered, and in fact a raid were also carried out at the properties of Bharti Singh and her husband Harsh Limbachia, and production houses as well as a residence was also raided, and in fact 86.5 grams of marijuana was recovered from their residences during the raid, and in fact following which they were arrested, and in fact later on they were granted the bail. It will be very much crucial what all things have been included in the charge sheet, because as far as Bharti Singh and Harsh Limbachia are concerned, they are out on bail. It will be very much important what kind of actions will be next taken by Narcotics Control Bureau, whether they will be arrested again in regards to this, or what kind of order the court will pass in regards of the charge sheet that has been passed. It will be very much important to see that, Samiksha, as well as it will be very much important to see how will the legal battle goes on in regards to this, because the quantity of drugs is just 86.5 grams. So it will be important to see what kind of course now the court will take legally.
Also, Sandeep, just a follow-up question. What has been the response coming in from Bharti Singh when they were arrested, of course, in connection with this case, and this, of course, while they are out on bail in this case?
See, when we talk about Bharti Singh and Harsh Limbachia, they were in fact behind the bars, and in fact following which they were also given bail by the courthouse. So later on, as the drugs were recovered, the quantity was very much low. So that's what at that point of time in the courthouse, the advocate Ayaz Khan, who was representing Bharti Singh, had mentioned that the quantity is very low, and hence they didn't wanted more actions from Narcotics Control Bureau. But so far there hasn't been any kind of reaction given after the charge sheet has been filed. We are trying to connect the lawyer as well as Bharti Singh in regards to get their version over this.
All right, Sandeep, thank you for those details. So, Sandeep getting us all those details of the Mumbai NCB having filed its charge sheet in connection with the case that has been filed against Bharti Singh as well as her husband. In a connection to a drug case, it remains to be seen the response that comes in from Bharti Singh. But yes, that's the charge sheet that has been filed in connection with the 2020 case that in connection with the drug case for which the duo are currently out on bail. Moving on then, former Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan isn't going down without a fight and has begun a mega march to the Pakistan's capital city demanding early elections. This development comes after Imran Khan challenged the Pakistan Election Commission's decision to not allow him to hold public office for 5 years.
Pakistan's former Prime Minister Imran Khan and thousands of supporters began a long-promised march yesterday to the nation's capital Islamabad to challenge the government of his successor and demand early elections. Khan maintains that his ouster in a parliament no-confidence vote in April was unlawful and a conspiracy by his political opponents orchestrated by the United States. A charge denied by both Washington and Pakistan's new premier, Shehbaz Sharif. About 10,000 demonstrators, many of them piled into hundreds of trucks and cars, left on Friday from the eastern city of Lahore, Pakistan's cultural heartland. Many who joined the march at the start were walking on foot. The convoy, which was expected to arrive sometime next week in Islamabad, got off to a colourful start as Khan's supporters danced to the beat of drums and sang patriotic songs. The convoy's route, known as the Grand Trunk Road, covers a distance of 300 kilometers and is expected to include frequent stops with political speeches and rallies in towns and urban areas along the way. Numbers are also expected to swell along the way. Khan, a former cricket star and national sports hero turned Islamist politician, is hugely popular and has been able to rally followers onto the streets. Addressing supporters before the departure from Lahore, Imran Khan described the endeavour as a peaceful march and claimed his political struggle against the government would continue until Sharif's administration agrees to hold early elections. The Pakistani government has repeatedly said that elections will be held as scheduled in 2023.
कि मैं अपनी कौम को आजाद करूं, इसको एक आजाद मुल्क बनाऊं, इस मुल्क के फैसले मुल्क से बाहर ना हो, ना लंदन ना वॉशिंगटन, इस मुल्क के फैसले पाकिस्तान में हो और पाकिस्तानियों के लिए हो। मैं साफ और शफाफ इलेक्शन चाहता हूं और साफ और शफाफ इलेक्शन में मेरी आवाम फैसला करे कि इस मुल्क की क़यादत कौन करेगा, ना वॉशिंगटन करे, ना अमेरिका करे, इमरान खान, ना कोई और करे, आवाम को फैसला करने दो।
On Thursday, Pakistan's powerful military warned that although it was Khan's democratic right to hold a rally in Islamabad, no one would be allowed to destabilize the country. Last week, the country's election commission disqualified Imran Khan from holding public office for 5 years after finding him guilty of illegally selling state gifts and concealing assets as premier. Khan has challenged the ruling in court, seeking to have the commission's order suspended. Authorities in Islamabad have deployed additional security forces to deter any clashes or violence once Khan's convoy reaches the Pakistani capital. Agency report for Republic TV.
Slipping into a very short break for now. Do not go anywhere. Lots lined up for you on the other side of this very short break. Centre cracks whip on social media giants, amends guidelines for rollout. It's the end of the big tech rush. Caught red-handed in the biggest fake news story. Now the wire set to face legal action from Amit Malviya.
I think
news is about serving the audience with news, not trying to buy landing pages. You're in a very strong position to make that change. You can go to these channels and say, if you believe in your content, then let your content get you the audience. Why don't you take that decisive step?
Tell the organization, if you feel uncomfortable doing it for all genres, do it only for news. It is your decision to tell us whether you want the entire session to be knocked off or not.
At the United Nations meeting in Mumbai shares intricate details bearing the Mumbai terror plot before the world.
मैंने एक शख्स को देखती हूँ जिसके हाथ में बड़ी सी गन है, उसके चेहरे पे कोई डर नहीं था। हम लोगों को मार के उसे खुशी मिल रही है।
This forum is very appropriate to bring attention to the issue of fighting terrorism.
When this news agency says Britain drops behind India to become the world's 6th largest economy, the former British colony jumped past the UK in 3 months to become the 5th largest economy. They are describing India after 75 as a former colony.
The British interaction with us was only 190 years out of a total history of 7,000 years. So if we reclaim what is legitimately ours and shed aside the colonial mindset, that's something that should be celebrated. But these people are not accepting that.
Elon Musk completes his Twitter takeover, sacks the top Twitter officials including the CEO.
Top headlines at 10:30. Major tragedy averted, but even as Indigo downplays the fire, DGCA orders through. Centre cracks whip on social media giants, amends guidelines for rollout. It's the end of the big tech crunch. AAP versus BJP over funds to the Waqf board. BJP fires fresh questions. Court red-handed in the biggest fake news story. Now the wire set to face legal action from Amit Malviya. Air quality in the national capital plunges to severe category. Residents raise concerns. Thanks for tuning in this Saturday morning. I'm Samiksha Srivastava. We have a lot lined up for you in this edition. Straight up starting with an update coming in on the Coimbatore blast case. And the latest update coming in of the VHP leader who has visited the Coimbatore blast site this 7 days after the blast took place. So we'll put out those visuals as well of the VHP leader visiting the site. But this 7 days, of course, after the blast really happened and the NIA having taken over the case, the VHP leader, National Secretary Sthantu Malyan, while speaking to the public, said that the incident happened before Diwali and that Coimbatore is a peaceful town in Tamil Nadu, and even as the PFI is banned, there was an attempt to vitiate the atmosphere and that PFI activists wanted to disturb the atmosphere. Varshini also reporting live on this. Varshini, give us more updates you're picking up. We are now given to understand that the VHP National Secretary visited the Coimbatore blast site.
Well, yes, Samiksha. So the VHP, the Vishwa Hindu Parishad National Joint General Secretary had come down to the blast site and he had visited and he went into the temple and even inspected the whole situation here. And the Coimbatore City Police had helped him out with all the details. And he also spoke to Republic where he mentioned about how radicalization has been going on in Tamil Nadu for a very long time. Over 40 years, Coimbatore has been a very sensitive and a hot spot in the state of Tamil Nadu to such terror activities, including the 1998 blast. And he's also mentioned something about how the PFI was recently banned and how there could be a relation between the blast and the ban, and that is the very important thing that worries the VHP, and how the VHP condemns this kind of an activity happening right in front of a temple and an area where a lot of Hindus live. And he's also mentioned about how they will be definitely trying to make sure that these kind of things are being condemned by Vishwa Hindu Parishad. And he's also mentioned about how the Tamil Nadu government should make sure that these kind of radicalization efforts are being stopped completely, and not just Coimbatore but also in other parts of the state. And he's also mentioned something about how Coimbatore is a very sensitive spot because it is the very closest to the state of Kerala, where a lot of PFI and terror related activities happen. Therefore he requested and he demanded the Tamil Nadu government to make sure that the checkpost in the Kerala Tamil Nadu border are being tightened, and securities are being increased, so that every time a vehicle comes into Tamil Nadu from Kerala, there should be extremely important vehicle checking to be happening. That is what one of the main points that he requested the Tamil Nadu government. He's requested to the PES through Republic. Therefore, this is the VHP's visit to the blast site, and these are the things that the VHP wanted to put out on behalf of their Vishwa Hindu Parishad to the Tamil Nadu government. And he also spoke about how the NIA investigation could bring out a lot of important information that the state and the country needs to know about what is going on in the city of Coimbatore.
Yes, Varshini, stay with us. Let's listen into that exclusive conversation also you had with the VHP leader.
As an organization, we are touring all over the country. Especially this incident happened before Deepavali. Our Karyakartas told immediately if you come there will be some problem because of the tension. You see, Coimbatore is a peaceful town in Tamil Nadu. Last 40 years, after starting the mass conversion in Meenakshipuram, the Muslim communities planned to divide whole Tamil Nadu into their active Kendram. For example, Ramanathapuram is an area, Tirunelveli is an area. Like that, they selected the western part of Tamil Nadu, connected with Kerala, it is Coimbatore they selected. 1983 onwards, the killers are started from here. You know, so many organizations leaders. 1998, February 14th, very big car bomb blast like this was happened in 1998 in Advani's public meeting. Now, PFI is banned. The activists, they collected the old materials. They want to dispose, I think like that. So they are keeping so many places these type of items. This Deepavali time, Mandir, very big crowd will come. They want to make a hawa in Coimbatore city, and in order to that, the business will be destroyed in this area. This 24, 25 is the business time. So, Vishwa Hindu Parishad as an organization, last 2-3 years, we are telling these type of activities. Last June, I met the press in Kerala. I told the PF should be banned because the whole activities Kendra is border to this. If you are all India press, you please take a survey of the border places of Palakkad and Coimbatore district. So many hundreds of acres are purchased by the Muslim Finami names and forms. It is their
And Varshini also reporting live from Coimbatore. Varshini, give us more updates. Of course, the terror angle which is under scanner as we speak. But talk to us about the action happening right now. We see police officials who are also present at the location.
Definitely, Samiksha, we can take a look at the blast site because we are back here since the NIA investigation could begin anytime. You can see extremely, a huge number of police are deployed here. Even last few days when we were here, this amount of police were not here. But now, again, since the investigation has been transferred to the NIA and the FIR also has been fined, anytime there could be surprise visits from the NIA. Therefore, there should be complete safe security security here. Therefore, you can see police are huge in number today. They are here from the morning and they are stationed here in different shifts. But also the main thing is that since it's a temple that the public visits, there has to be enough security so that the public can normally come in and go. And before the blast, there was only one checkpost here, but now they have made sure that there are checkposts in the entrance of the road and near the temple also, so that the public can also freely come visit the temple anytime they want, and also make sure that the usage of this road, the commuting, does not also become a major issue after the blast. But how much ever we speak about the safety and security that is being tightened in this area, the panic you can sense from the public is definitely high. They are definitely afraid to come into this street, which is one of the most important market areas in Coimbatore. And you can also notice that the police are also trying to make sure that there are enough number of security in other important places of Coimbatore, not just the place where the blast happened, but also important places in Coimbatore, which includes the racecourse area, the Victoria Hall area, and the other bazaar areas also, so that they can avoid any kind of confusions. And there is police vehicle frisking happening in every nook and corner of the city. They are frisking every single vehicle, be it a two-wheeler or a car or anything. Checking is happening in every single street, not just main roads, but also the smaller lanes everywhere. The frisking is happening to make sure they don't miss out on any important information that they could receive from these kind of vehicles that is traveling. And particularly if you see, the vehicles that are being mostly frisked are the vehicles that come in from other states like Kerala, like Andhra Pradesh and Telangana also. Therefore, this is the Coimbatore city is still not back to normal. It's still not, though the city is calmer now, much calmer, the sense of panic among the normal common man is definitely not yet lessened. Though the Tamil Nadu government and the Tamil Nadu police, DGP and the Coimbatore city commissioner constantly keeps telling that everything is under control, the normal people, the common man is definitely afraid of what could happen at any point of time.
Yes, Varshini, also talk to us about the deeper terror plot that is being looked upon, because let's not forget that what we're given to understand is that the accused, who's now of course who has died in this particular blast, he visited the Kerala prison, and also the fact that he probably could be linked to the ISIS terrorists as well.
Well, Samiksha, if you see about these terror links, the kind of links that have been figured out as of now is definitely startling. Like as you mentioned about the person that Azharuddin in the Kerala prison was met by the Jamesha Mubin who died in the blast, and also very importantly Feroz Ismail, which Republic broke about the news about him. Feroz Ismail, who was deported from UAE in 2020, was also has played a very important part in this whole planning, because while he was deported to India, that is when the ISIS links had entered into Coimbatore city through this one particular accused who's been arrested, in this case Feroz Ismail. Therefore, that is also very, very important to note, because this whole ISIS module is what has been followed here. And also another important revelation in this case is about Dalka, whose father was Al-Umma Nawab, who's an accused who's still in the jail, and also Jamesha Mubin's father has also been related to Al-Umma in the past, and also this cousin who was lastly arrested by the police, Afzal Khan, was also said to have been the important person in this case, as he was the one who ordered all these explosive products online. Therefore, all these people have come together, they have radicalized each other, and they have formed this group, and they have come up with this huge plan. They have planned out everything perfectly, and from NIA's FIR yesterday we saw that there were notebooks found in the house which had details of a lot of Islamic religious lines, and also a lot of information about jihad that they have written. Therefore, this has been a very important revelation from the FIR. And also we learned that there has been several other notebooks which had information about possible blast sites, locations which were termed as tourist spots, and that was the key word that they had mentioned, the code word, and so many things was obtained. And that is how these people have been talking to the police also. Since last 3 days they were in police custody, and in the police custody we come to understand that these people have given statements regarding how they planned this whole thing and how it was supposed to happen, but the police is not opening up and giving us all the intricate details about the statements. But roughly we get to know from sources that Afzal Khan and Feroz Ismail, these two people have played a very important role in the whole planning, and Jamesha Mubin has also been very important, and that is why he was also the suicide bomber in this whole case.
All right, Varshini, thank you for the moment. We'll keep coming back to you. So Varshini reporting live from Coimbatore from that blast site where the incident happened 7 days back. Moving on to more breaking news coming in. This one from J&K, where a big lead, this is a big lead coming in, beg your pardon, from Rajasthan's Srigangannagar, where a Pak intruder was shot down, was neutralized by the BSF Jawans. Reports suggest that the intruder was trying to forcefully enter the international border of Anupgarh and was neutralized by the BSF Jawans near the Sirpur outpost. So Pak intruder shot dead by the BSF troops in Rajasthan. BSF DIG and senior officials having reached the location as well. And we are told that the body of the Pak intruder has been handed over to the Anupgarh police. And well, those are the visuals also on your screens of the Pak intruder who was shot down by the BSF Jawans. The incident happened at Rajasthan's Srigangannagar area, the border area. We have Amandeep reporting live from Jaipur. Amandeep, give us more details on this Pakistan intruder who was shot dead at the border area.
देखिए, अंतर्राष्ट्रीय भारत पाकिस्तान सीमा पर ये व्यक्ति जो था कल देर रात करीब 8 साढ़े 8 बजे के आसपास भारत की सीमा में घुसने की कोशिश कर रहा था, ज़बरदस्ती घुसने की कोशिश कर रहा था। उस वक्त 3 से 4 बार बीएसएफ जवानों की तरफ से इसको वार्न किया गया और वार्न करने के बाद इसको सरेंडर करने के लिए किया गया था। लेकिन जब ये सरेंडर नहीं कर रहा था और लगातार भारतीय सीमा में घुसने का प्रयास कर रहा था, उसके बाद फायरिंग हुई और फायरिंग में इस व्यक्ति की मौत हो गई। अब इस व्यक्ति के बारे में बीएसएफ के तमाम बड़े अधिकारी, इंटेलिजेंसी और सीआईडी के अधिकारी जो हैं वो पूछताछ कर रहे हैं और पता लगाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि आखिर इसकी इंटेंशन क्या थी कि भारतीय सीमा में ये घुसना चाहता था। सेकेंडली ये है कि जिस वक्त ये फायरिंग हुई, जिस तरीके से फायरिंग हुई है उसमें इसकी डेथ हुई है। 3 से 4 गोलियां इसको लगी हैं और माना ही जा रहा है कि ज़बरदस्ती वार्निंग के बावजूद भारतीय सीमा में घुसने का प्रयास कर रहा था। तमाम बड़े अधिकारी बीएसएफ के और इंटेलिजेंसी के अभी बॉर्डर पर मौजूद हैं। इसके साथ ही अभी इस व्यक्ति की पहचान और पहचान के बाद ये कहाँ का था और क्यों ये भारतीय सीमा में दाखिल होना चाहता था, इसका इंटेंशन क्या था, इन तमाम चीज़ों पर, इन तमाम पहलुओं पर अभी जो कह सकते हैं कि एक रिपोर्ट और तथ्यात्मक रिपोर्ट जो है वो ली जाएगी। और सीआईडी के अधिकारी इस बात का पता लगाने में जुटे हुए हैं कि आखिर इसकी मंशा क्या थी, क्यों आया था। इससे पहले रिजवान नुपुर शर्मा की हत्या करने के लिए इसी बॉर्डर से क्रॉस करने के फिराक में था, जिसको अरेस्ट किया था, वार्न के बाद अरेस्ट किया गया था, जिसका नार्को टेस्ट भी गुजरात में हुआ था। तो एक सेंसिटिव मामला इसको कह सकते हैं कि बीएसएफ की फायरिंग में एक व्यक्ति की मौत हुई।
Yes. Well, thank you, Amandeep, for those updates. So, Amandeep reporting live on this news coming in from Rajasthan, where a Pak intruder was shot down by the BSF Jawans. And moving on then, a quick roundup of all that's making news from across the country. Taking stock of the incident, the DGCA has ordered a detailed probe to ascertain the cause and suitable follow-up action in relation to the flight that caught fire, the Indigo flight. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Civil Aviation has ordered officials to submit a report in the incident after looking into it. The air quality of the national capital continues to deplete. Now, the latest forecast shows Well, the latest update being that the air quality remains in severe category. Visuals that have also surfaced show black smoke that has covered several areas of the national capital.
पूरे सांस फूलते रहते हैं। फिलहाल गर्मी दुनिया भर का प्रदूषण है, प्रदूषण बहुत है। हाँ, पूरी आँख में जलन होती है, हर चीज़ होती है, इसीलिए।
In a big development, the Cyberabad police has moved the Telangana High Court. The police has submitted a remand report against the verdict of the ACB court saying order which released 3 accused who allegedly attempted to poach the MLAs. Uddhav camp MLAs Kailash Patil staged protests in Osmanabad over several issues of farmers. Extending their support, the farmers joined the Uddhav camp. Meanwhile, the protest turned violent as the farmers vandalized and attacked public property. Mega crackdown on the PFI continues in Kerala. The National Investigation Agency has now arrested 13th absconding accused in the case. The accused was absconding and hails from Kerala's Palakkad area. New IT rules which have been framed will have a profound impact on the intermediaries including Twitter, Facebook, YouTube and Instagram, making them accountable to users and the government, thereby marking the end of rules framed by big tech firms which see itself as above the sovereign laws. In wake of the development, the IT ministry will also hold a news briefing today. BJP's IT cell head Amit Malviya said that he's decided to file criminal and civil proceedings against news website The Wire and alleged that they forged documents with a view to malign and tarnish its reputation. His reputation, the matter pertains to Meta stories which were retracted by the news website. AAP will fight elections in Gujarat where chief ministers face. The party will run a campaign for the face of chief minister. The Delhi chief minister Kejriwal will hold a press conference in Surat today regarding the same. A day after officially taking over Twitter, Elon Musk in a statement said that Twitter will make changes to its content moderation policies. Musk further said that comedy is now legal on Twitter. An intruder attacked the husband of US House Speaker Nancy Pelosi with a hammer in couple's San Francisco home. Speaker Nancy Pelosi was in Washington at the time of the attack.
She said that he's doing okay. He went to the hospital, was operated on, and he seems to be coming along well. He's in good spirits. The whole family's there. While this invasion is ongoing, the news reports indicate it was intended to be an attack on the house Nancy Pelosi lives in, the third-ranking person in the United States in line to be president.
And news coming in from the national capital where the air quality index has plunged to severe category. Let's listen into what the residents have to say, raising concerns over the deteriorating health quality leading to various health hazards. And those are the visuals as well coming in from the national capital in which you can see thick smog that has engulfed the national capital with the air quality index now having plunged to severe category from very poor earlier. So the air quality index which has further deteriorated and is now under severe category, raising several health concerns as well. Residents of course flagging these concerns in the national capital. So air quality continues to deplete in the national capital. Let's listen into some of those residents raising their concerns over the air quality situation in the national capital.
सांस लेने में बहुत परेशानी हो रही है, इसके लिए सरकार को कदम उठाना चाहिए। हाँ, इसके बारे में मास्क लेना जरूरी है पहनना, ताकि दिक्कत ना हो आदमी को।
इससे काफ़ी सारी दिक्कत का सामना करना पड़ा है, जैसे कि काफ़ी धुआं है तो उससे हमें मतलब सांस लेने में तकलीफ होता है, और भी है बहुत सारे तरह का प्रॉब्लम है। बच्चों को भी प्रॉब्लम होता है स्कूल वगैरह जाने में, है ना। तो काफ़ी उनका मतलब सेंसिटिव होते हैं वो लोग पॉल्यूशन से। सबसे पहले तो पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट को सही करना जरूरी है, क्योंकि ज़्यादातर मतलब जो कार से है उससे ज़्यादा पॉल्यूशन होता है। तो मतलब पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट का अगर उनका टाइमिंग जो है वो यूनिफॉर्म कर दिया जाए तो वो सबसे बेटर होगा, क्योंकि कभी कभी बसें लगता है आधा घंटे पे नहीं आती हैं, है ना। उससे क्या होता है कि बस का प्रॉपर यूटिलाइजेशन होता नहीं है, लोग पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट भी मतलब उससे जाने से कतराते हैं। तो अगर हम पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट को सही करें तो लोग पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट यूज़ करेंगे, और उससे हमें क्या होगा कि मतलब कारों की संख्या कम होगी और उससे पॉल्यूशन भी कम होगा।
And my colleague Harsha filed a detailed walkthrough on the situation that prevails in the national capital, the air quality index, which has further plunged to severe category, raising severe health concerns for the national capital residents. Listen in to this walkthrough.
Post-Diwali, the air quality index of Delhi NCR has deteriorated to a poor to severe category. There are few places in Delhi NCR which are heavily polluted. Anand Vihar at 456 AQI, Ashok Vihar at 422 AQI, Noida at 392, and Delhi overall AQI air quality index is 309, which is in a very poor state. It has been seen that since the evening of October 23, the air pollution has increased, and it is because of the setting of firecrackers by individual, the increase in agriculture fires, and also reduction in temperature, and because of the wind speed, dust and smoke in Delhi NCR, which have been responsible for the bad air quality index in Delhi NCR. Not only this, regarding pollution, seeing the increase in pollution level, the central panel has issued a closure order to 24 industrial units in Delhi NCR for violating pollution related status. So this is the condition. The medical experts are clearly saying the itchiness can be felt in the air and the eyes by many public, and the increase in the hospitals have increased, seeing the smog and the bad air pollution in Delhi NCR. So this is the condition of Delhi NCR, where the air quality is continuously deteriorating day by day.
And politics that has also ensued over the air quality. So even as the air quality continues to deteriorate in the national capital, plunging to severe category, it's politics that continues in the national capital, with the netas only passing the buck. And this, of course, after the air quality has further plunged to severe category. Let's listen into the reaction coming in from BJP's Shehzad Poonawalla.
It is long over, but the AQI in Delhi and the pollution in Delhi is plummeting. AQI has crossed 300 in many parts of Delhi, but firecrackers are not to blame. The real cause of blame, as per Mr. Kejriwal, was Punjab's burning of parali and stubble. He said this last year and last to last year. In fact, in Punjab, 20% increase has been marked in the stubble burning compared to last year. 2,000 incidents have taken place of stubble burning just yesterday. And entire North India is facing pollution. More importantly, the IIT has shown that the main causes of pollution in Delhi are vehicular pollution, industrial pollution, dust on the roads, construction dust, biomass burning. What has been done on all these fronts? Did the parali burning incidents not reduce because the biodecomposer of Arvind Kejriwal, which was marketed for 23 crores, was a complete failure? What steps have been taken by the Punjab government of AAP and Delhi government of AAP? No answers to all of this, and therefore the agenda was to demonize Diwali, demonize Hindus. Now see, Yamuna Nadi has also not been clean, and therefore there is a ban on Chhat Puja at the ghats of Yamuna. So Hindus will be banned from bursting crackers, Hindus will be banned from Chhat Puja, and they will be blamed for pollution. This is the mindset, the Aurangzebi mindset of Aam Aadmi Party, which has done nothing for Delhi as far as pollution is concerned.
So BJP, of course, raising several questions and asking the Aam Aadmi Party to take accountability when it comes to the deteriorating deteriorating air index in the national capital. This, of course, after the air quality index has further plunged to severe category. As you can see, these are visuals from earlier today where a thick smoke can be seen that has engulfed the national capital, and several such scenes that have surfaced from across the national capital, not just one particular area. And of course, a lot of reactions as well coming in, with citizens only raising their concerns over their health in wake of the deteriorating health situation. We'll slip into a very short break, but more news break to continue on the other side of this very short break. Centre cracks whip on social media giants amends guidelines for rollout. It's the end of the big tech rush. Court red-handed in the biggest fake news story. Now the wire set to face legal action from Amit Malviya.
Good evening and welcome, viewers. Just minutes back, the government of India finally did a great thing. It changed the IT intermediary rules. Simple English, from now on, big tech, Twitter, Facebook, Insta, all these big billion-dollar companies for whom India is the biggest market, they all have to now quietly comply with India's laws and India's constitution, and I'm loving it. These American companies like Facebook and Twitter can no longer do whatever they want in India and claim they will comply with Silicon Valley rules. If they don't comply, they are free to get out, pack up, leave our country. You want to make money in India, you follow India's rules. This is the new approach, and viewers, I like this approach. Things have to change in our country. There has to be a quantum shift. Approaches have to change. We've got to learn to be more direct about what we want. For example, last night I said that you cannot have an American citizen, a Chinese citizen, a Nicaraguan citizen becoming an editor, quasi-editor, CEO, quasi-CEO of an Indian news media setup, however big or small this is. In fact, I think, viewers, don't you agree with me? We must start an investigation now on which foreign citizens and green card holders are presently in important positions in India's news organizations. And let me take you in on a secret. Recently, I came to know
It's 11 a.m. and here are the headlines. Centre cracks whip on social media giants amidst guidelines for rollout. It's the end of the big tech rush. Aam Aadmi Party versus BJP over funds to the Waqf board. BJP fires fresh questions. Caught red-handed in the biggest fake news story. Now the wire set to face legal action from Amit Malviya. Air quality in national capital plunges to severe category. Residents raise concerns. But politics over air quality escalates. BJP now hits out at the Kejriwal government. Viewers, thank you for staying with Republic TV. I'm Priyanka Sharma. We are live in breaking and straight away getting you updates on one of the biggest stories that we're tracking for you today with respect to the Waqf board and how there have been several allegations that have been leveled against the Aam Aadmi Party government for giving out at least 101 crore rupees to the Waqf board and 62 crores in the last 1 year itself. Now we are picking up several voices on this big story. Now viewers, we are getting Anurag Thakur's reaction to the Delhi government funds on the Waqf board as well. Let's listen in.
जो राम मंदिर का विरोध करते थे और जो और जिन पार्टी के नेता खुले में आकर हिंदू देवी देवताओं का अपमान करते थे, जिनको अपने मंत्री को मंत्री पद से हटाना पड़ा, वो अरविंद केजरीवाल जी अराजकता के प्रतीक हैं, फर्जी बातें करने वाले हैं। और मैं तो ये कहना चाहता हूँ, ये तो नया नया प्रोपेगेंडा शगुफा छोड़ दें ताकि इनके भ्रष्टाचार की कहानी पे ज़्यादा चर्चा ना हो। मैं आपसे पूछना चाहता हूँ, अरविंद केजरीवाल जी, दिल्ली में मौलवियों को तो आप 18,000 रुपये साल का देते हो, मंदिर के पुजारियों को, गुरुद्वारे के ग्रंथियों को, चर्च के पादरियों को भी क्या आप 18,000 रुपये प्रति वर्ष देने का काम शुरू कर रहे हो? क्यों नहीं दे पाए? ये फर्जीवाल हैं जी, ऐसा ही होता है। फर्जी वाले जो हैं यही काम करते हैं।
Well, viewers, we listen in to Anurag Thakur's reaction to this RTI response that we had also picked up. And Harsha, my colleague, is on the ground reporting on this story. Let me also bring her in. Harsha, tell us more about the RTI response and the kind of reactions that we are seeing of the BJP levelling these allegations, claiming that there was no salary increase for the ASHA workers or the several other protests that were being carried out in the national capital. But there were money that was being given to the Waqf board to the tune of 101 crore rupees as well. What is the Aam Aadmi Party responding as in this entire matter?
Exactly. Priyanka, let me tell you one thing, that all the senior leaders of BJP, be it Anurag Thakur, be it Maninder Singh Sarsa, be it the spokesperson Shahzad Poonawala, Amit Malvi and others, all have been hitting hard at Aam Aadmi government, stating clearly that the policy of Aam Aadmi Party government is appeasement politics. They have been doing appeasement politics for minorities. They are pretending to woo Hindu voters before Gujarat election. They are doing campaign. They are talking about the images of Goddess Lakshmi and God Ganesh in the currency notes. But on the other side, they are doing all for the appeasement of Muslim. As in Delhi, 101 crore was given to Waqf board, rupees 62 crore was given in 2015-16, while rupees 39 crore was given, rupees 39 crore was given in 2015-16, rupees 62 crore was given in 21-22 to Waqf board. Not only this, the salaries of imams, maulanas and other who work in masjid and mosque, they were given the salaries, they were paid the salaries of sum of total rupees 33.21 crores. While if we see on the other side, Hindu Pandits, the priests haven't been paid yet, the Sikh Granthis haven't been paid yet. Not only this, the government employees which have been working for Aam Aadmi Party government in different ministries as well, they have not been yet paid by the government. All are non-paid. MCT hasn't been paid. ASHA workers, DDU teachers, the Shiksha with the contract teachers, none of them have been paid till now by Aam Aadmi Party government. Aam Aadmi Party government clearly cited the lack of finances, because of which they were unable to pay to the government employee. And let me also tell you that the High Court also pulled up the Aam Aadmi Party government, stating that they are spending more on advertisements and are not paying the salaries of all these whose salaries are still not being paid. So these are the politics of Aam Aadmi Party government, which BJP is clearly stating.
That's right, Harsha, you're breaking down some very important points of this very important story as well. But as you pointed out, there are several reactions to this big development that we are also tracking for our viewers. Stay with us as we play out those reactions of Shahzad Poonawala and several other BJP leaders about what they had to say about these allegations.
Done yesterday, that 101 crores was granted to Waqf board by the Delhi government from the taxpayers' money, and only in the last 1 year 62 crores was granted. Now another expose from an RTI that the salaries and the payments made to the imams and the muezzins was increased by the Arvind Kejriwal government, and almost 31.3 crores was paid in last 7 years, of which 20 crores was paid just in 2 years between 2019 to 2021. At the same period of time, Arvind Kejriwal had no money for ASHA workers. At the same period of time, Arvind Kejriwal had no money for the DDU college or the salaries of teachers or for 13,000 SC, ST, OBC students who wanted coaching. At the same period of time, Arvind Kejriwal had no money to clean up Yamuna Ji so that there would be no pratibandh on Chhat Puja. At the same period of time, Arvind Kejriwal was putting ban on firecrackers and not allowing Hindus to celebrate their festival. But this bonanza was given to Waqf board. this bonanza was given to imams only because of the appeasement politics? Did Arvind Kejriwal at the same time grant such salary hikes to Hindu Pandits, to Sikh Granthis? And there are only 185 mosques which were granted this kind of huge salary hike bonanza for imams and muezzins.
दिल्ली सरकार तुष्टीकरण की राजनीति के चलते हुए वो हर महीने 14 करोड़ वक्फ बोर्ड को देने के लिए पैसा है उनके पास। साल में 101 करोड़ रुपया उन्होंने वक्फ बोर्ड को दिया और वक्फ बोर्ड के माध्यम से दिल्ली के मदरसों और मस्जिदों में काम करने वाले इमामों को सैलरी देने का काम किया है। दिल्ली में अरविंद केजरीवाल की सरकार जहां एक और जब हिंदुओं के पर्व त्योहार आते तो उनको नहीं मनाया जाए इसके लिए वो कदम उठाते हैं, चाहे वो दीपावली हो, दीपावली पे पटाखे पर प्रतिबंध हो या छठ पूजा पर यमुना घाटों पर काम नहीं करना हो सरकार के द्वारा, और एक तरफ वक्फ बोर्ड हो उसके माध्यम से मुल्ला मौलवियों को सैलरी देने का काम करते हैं। ये तुष्टीकरण की राजनीति आम आदमी पार्टी करती है, जो एक हिंदू विरोधी के साथ साथ वो तुष्टीकरण, एक विशेष धर्म के लोगों के तुष्टीकरण का काम करते हैं। मैं अरविंद केजरीवाल सरकार से पूछना चाहता हूं, आपके पास 101 करोड़ रुपया वक्फ बोर्ड के लिए है, लेकिन दूसरी तरफ आपके पास मंदिरों के पुजारियों के लिए सैलरी देने के लिए पैसे नहीं हैं। दूसरा सवाल है कि वक्फ बोर्ड के जो चेयरमैन हैं वो आपके खास विधायक हैं, वो लगातार भ्रष्टाचार के आरोपों में, गंभीर आरोप उनके ऊपर हैं। वक्फ बोर्ड की ज़मीनों पर कब्जा किया जा रहा है, उनकी ज़मीनों के जो मस्जिदों के स्कूल तोड़कर वहाँ दुकानें बनाकर उनका कॉमर्शियलाइजेशन किया जा रहा है और उससे पैसे की उगाही हो रही है। एक तरफ वक्फ बोर्ड की ज़मीनों पर अवैध रूप से कब्जा है और उसी वक्फ बोर्ड को दिल्ली में अरविंद केजरीवाल की सरकार 100 करोड़ से ज़्यादा की ग्रांट देकर तुष्टीकरण की राजनीति कर रही है। भारतीय जनता पार्टी और दिल्ली की जनता इसके खिलाफ है।
अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ने अब तक 100 करोड़ रुपया वक्फ बोर्ड को दिया है और ये पैसा जो अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ने ऐलान किया था कि 20,000 रुपया मौलवी को और 10,000 रुपया उनके सहायक को दिया जाएगा, उसके लिए बंटित किया गया। लेकिन दूसरी तरफ शिक्षा के नाम पर जब लोन लेने के लिए हमारे बच्चे गए तो केवल पूरे साल में 2 लोगों को लोन दिया गया, केवल 2 लोगों को कहा गया कि पैसा नहीं है अभी हमारे पास, हम लोन नहीं दे सकते। और उधर जब माइनॉरिटी के बच्चे जिनकी फीस रिम्बर्समेंट होनी थी उनको भी पैसे नहीं दिए गए, ये कहकर कि हमारे पास पैसे नहीं है। हमारे सिख बच्चों को भी माइनॉरिटी में फीस रिम्बर्स नहीं हो पा रही, जो कि एससी के और एसटी फंड्स में पैसे होते हैं माइनॉरिटीज के लिए। एक तरफ सिख बच्चों को उनकी फीस भी रिफंड नहीं की जा रही माइनॉरिटी कोटे में, और दूसरी तरफ 100 करोड़ रुपए से ज्यादा दिया जा रहा है। मुझे लगता है कि ये एक बहुत ज्यादा अपीजमेंट है एक पर्टिकुलर रिलीजन के लोगों की, जो कि देश के लिए अच्छा नहीं है, हमारे बच्चों के भविष्य के लिए अच्छा नहीं है, एजुकेशन के लिए अच्छा नहीं है। मैं अरविंद केजरीवाल जी से आग्रह करता हूं ये सारा पैसा वापस रिकवर करें और सबको बराबरी तौर पर मान्यता दें। ऐसा नहीं है कि एक धर्म के लोगों के लिए विशेष तौर पर 100 करोड़ रुपया दिया जाए और दूसरे धर्म के बच्चों को भी फीस रिइंबर्स ना की जाए। ये बहुत बड़ा गुनाह और पाप है अरविंद केजरीवाल जी, हमारे बच्चों के साथ बेइंसाफी है।
Well, viewers, we are also now shifting focus to what's really happening in Tamil Nadu, where now we're learning that the VHP is now visiting the site at the blast site, in fact, that had taken place 7 days ago. And we're getting in those visuals and several voices on the same. Let's listen into those.
So, in order to save Tamil Nadu, this Tamil Nadu government is pro and they are supporting the terrorist type of mentality. So, we are thinking the government should take stringent actions against these terrorists, and we want to take the NIA came and they will, yesterday they first FIR, they told it is the terrorist activities behind this. I am to the press, I am asking the government to find out the connections of the international terrorist group activities in Coimbatore.
Sir, you mentioned about PFI ban recently that happened. Do you think there could be any relation between PFI ban and the terror attack that happened right now?
I think they wanted to do these things throughout the Tamil Nadu before Deepavali because the stock was there. So they want to test. I think it is some type of you are banned PFI. We are not banned. We are active like that. They are telling. Sleeper cell is there. You please verify the foreign trips done by the organizations of the group and their foreign money involvement and their connections. So that is the area to the intelligence.
Now, viewers, we picked up those reactions as far as the blast is concerned, and now we're learning that the VHP, in fact, had also gone to the blast site. And of course, we have seen the kind of war of words that had broken out between the BJP and the DMK as well, as far as this entire blast is also concerned. And we had seen those statements also coming out. Varshini, if you can hear me, who's joining me on the broadcast, she's been on the ground tracking this story for us very closely. Varshini, we had seen those war of words, and we had also seen those statements coming in that the state government was not prompt in handing over this entire investigation to the NIA as well. But speak to us about what's happening on the ground right now. The VHP had gone on the site where the blast had taken place.
Well, yes, definitely. So it's been 1 week after the blast happened. The blast happened on 23rd, and for the past 1 week, there have been many important party leaders and many important group leaders who've been visiting the blast site, who've been also expressing their, angst against the whole matter and condemning this terror attack that has happened in Coimbatore city. And like that, VHP National Joint General Secretary Stanu Malian had come to the blast site, and he had also inspected where the Coimbatore City Police also assisted him by explaining a lot of things that was, that happened here on the day of the blast. And he also spoke to the press when he told Republic page about how, the VHP is condemning this whole terror act. And also, though the police did make sure that the law and order was proper during this whole investigation and that the people were not affected, and immediately how they isolated the whole blast site and they protected the common man from getting affected by this matter. But also, though it was all laudable, but still there was a delay in action, and there was an intelligence failure that also took place. So he also spoke about that as well, and he also mentioned about how radicalization is happening in several parts of Tamil Nadu, not just Coimbatore, and that the state government has to take action to make sure that many youngsters particularly from Muslim community are not getting radicalized. And the major thing he mentioned is about the PFI ban. He said that there could be links between the ban and this attack. Maybe this could be a way that the people who belonged to PFI wanted to show that they will always be alive and they will also always be functioning even though that there is a ban. So these kind of controversial remarks were also made by the VHP National Joint General Secretary. Therefore, this situation in Coimbatore, is though it is calm, the Coimbatore City Police are trying to take control of the whole city and make sure that the people are able to live peacefully. But at the same time, now the investigation has been completely gone to the hands of the National Investigation Agency. Therefore, NIA will be, making sure that all the investigation and whatever moving forward from here is being handled carefully, and all the important details come out of these investigations.
Well, absolutely. Varshini there getting us the latest as far as the investigation is also concerned, viewers, in this entire blast that had taken place, as you pointed out, 7 days ago. And of course, the VHP, I beg your pardon, is also on the ground taking cognizance of this entire blast. And of course, we had seen the kind of war of words that had also broken out with respect to how the state government did not hand over the investigation in a prompt fashion to the NIA as well. For the moment, we move on to some other stories. We'll be tracking this story very closely for you. Shifting focus to what's really happened with the UNSC Counter-Terrorism meeting, where External Affairs Minister S Jaishankar spoke about terrorism at length once again today. And he has spoken about airborne weaponry, including those drones, and cross-border terrorism that is being facilitated by the drone technology as well, that is being used for nefarious activities. Here's all that you need to know.
remains one of the gravest threats to humanity. The UN Security Council, in the past 2 decades, has evolved an important architecture built primarily around the counter-terrorism sanctions regime to combat this menace. This has been very effective in putting those countries on notice that had turned terrorism into a state-funded enterprise. Despite this, the threat of terrorism is only growing and expanding, particularly in Asia and Africa, as successive reports of the 1267 Sanctions Committee monitoring reports have highlighted. The technological innovations and breakthroughs of the past 2 decades have been transformative in the way the world functions in every respect. These new emerging technologies, from virtual private networks and encrypted messaging services to blockchain and virtual currencies, offer a very promising future for a wide array of economic and social benefits for humankind. However, there is a flip side, especially where terrorism is concerned. These very technologies have also thrown up new challenges for governments and regulatory bodies due to their potential vulnerability for misuse by non-state actors, given the very nature of some of these technologies and the nascent regulatory environment. In recent years, terrorist groups, their ideological fellow travelers, particularly in open and liberal societies, and lone wolf attackers have significantly enhanced their capabilities by gaining access to these technologies. They use technology and money, and most importantly, the ethos of open societies to attack freedom, tolerance, and progress.
Here's some news in brief, viewers. Taking stock of the incident, DGCA has ordered a detailed investigation to ascertain the cause and suitable follow-up action shall be taken. Meanwhile, Ministry of Civil Aviation ordered officials to submit a report in the incident after looking into it. The air quality of the national capital continues to deplete. Now, the latest forecast shows the air quality will remain very poor category for the next 3 days. Visuals on your screen show dense cloud of black smoke covering Mathura and Barakhamba Road, Pragati Maidan, Anand Vihar area, among others.
And I have on many occasions talked about the need for our framework of laws and rules to continue to evolve, to meet the challenges and opportunities of the technology space and in general and the internet in particular. And it is part of that today we are here to discuss about the recently notified amendment to the IT rules, which were last substantively changed in February 2021 and notified in May 2021. And now we have these amended rules that are coming into force as of last night. These rules are, in a sense, indicative of our thinking about and our goals as a government about ensuring and our mission to ensure that the internet in India for the 80 crore Indians who are online today and the 120 crore Indians who will be connected to the internet over the next 2 years, that for them and for them as principal stakeholders of the internet, that the internet always remains open, safe and trusted, and there is a defined, codified accountability between them and the platforms that straddle the internet. This basic boundary condition and these principles were established a few months ago. We have then gone through consultations and the rules have been notified yesterday. The amended rules consist of 3 broad additions, if you want to call it that. The first is in the aspect of due diligence. If you recall that there is a clause a section in the rules, which is the Rule 3, that deals with due diligence obligations of the intermediary. And the due diligence obligations of the intermediary in previously were limited to notifying the users of the rules and guidelines that the intermediary wanted them to follow. There was only an obligation of notification. The rules have been, in the amended rules, if you read the amendments, there is a much more definite obligation on the intermediary in terms of making efforts, that the intermediary has to make efforts that no unlawful content is posted on the platform. And in the broad category of obligations on the intermediary to follow, we have added misinformation under 3B5. 3B5? Yes, 3B5. So I draw your attention to that as well, that the internet cannot be and the intermediary should not be party to not just unlawful content, illegal content, pornography, content that is detrimental to national security, but intermediaries cannot be and should not be party to any deliberate misinformation as content on their platforms. And I will explain that. I'm sure you have questions on that, and we'll take that up. Misinformation is not just about media. Misinformation is about advertising illegal products and services that range from porn to online betting. That is also misinformation. Misinformation is also in the fintech community, misrepresenting products or services. And of course, misinformation also refers to false information about a particular person or a particular entity. That is number one. The second set of amendments relate to the fact that India is a constitutional republic and democracy. And Articles 14, 19 and 21, these have come up during the consultations, as you recall, that some intermediaries believed or believed mistakenly that their guidelines and their rules and their operating, let's say whatever, community guidelines, whatever they refer to, that supersede the constitutional rights of 14, 19 and 21. The rules make it very clear that regardless of where your jurisdiction is, if you are providing a service to an Indian citizen, then Article 14, 19 and 21 cannot be diluted or ignored. The third aspect of the amendment is the fact, and as some of you and most of you have heard this during the consultation, that the grievance redressal mechanism that we had left to the intermediaries to manage by simply prescribing the need to appoint a grievance officer is broken, is not functional. And we have millions and lakhs of messages in the government as testimony to that, to make sure that the grievance redressal mechanism functions and that the core principle of accountability is maintained and is intact and is strong and is strengthened. We have talked about a grievance appellate committee here, where consumers and citizens and digital nagriks who are unhappy with or find that the grievance redressal mechanism by the intermediary is not responsive enough can appeal to the GSE, which will be a digitally hosted platform. We will start with maybe one or two of those GSEs, and it will proliferate as the need for that expands. There is a question from the industry on the GSE on whether this can morph into a self-regulatory organization. And I have said this before, and I say now, the government is not really interested in playing the role of an ombudsman here. It is not something that we have the capacity and capability to do, but this is a responsibility we are taking reluctantly, because currently the grievance redressal mechanism is not functioning as it should be, and the accountability promise that we have made to the citizens of India is not being met. Apart from these three amendments, I just want to broadly share with you and through you to the citizens of India and of course the intermediaries and all of those who are on the internet, that the government is wanting to work with the intermediaries, work with all those companies who are on the internet, big and small, Indian and foreign. We want to work in a partnership model to ensure that our common collective objective of a safe and trusted internet for all our Indian citizens and digital nagriks is met. Our mission is that. And so therefore this is not about making it difficult for anybody. This is not for making it difficult for selecting or targeting any company. This is really what should be a collective mission for all the stakeholders of the internet, which is to make the internet a safe, trusted, while keeping its attributes of openness intact and alive, keeping it safe and trusted, making it safe and trusted, keeping it safe and trusted, and establishing the principle of accountability between the intermediaries and the consumers. So I will leave it at that, and I will be happy to take any questions. Thank you. How do you want to do this? Is there anybody from PIB who's doing this? You will do it?
Yes, please. So my name is my question is about the inclusion of the age schedule of the Indian Constitution. So does it mean that every intermediary, irrespective of the size, has to release its privacy policy, user agreement and terms and conditions in 23 languages, including Sanskrit?
Yes. Yes, you asked the question, I give the answer.
So what about the grievance if a social media organization decides to not comply with certain complaints? So what would be their mechanism to perhaps go?
If a grievance a consumer raises a grievance with an intermediary and the intermediary does not respond or responds not satisfactory to the consumer has the right to appeal that to the GSE.
Right, and will they, so if as an organization, if I feel that I do not want to comply with what the government is asking me to do, GSE is asking me to do, then they will go to the court. So it's again...
No, look, under any law in India, anybody has the right to approach courts. Nothing that the rules nothing that the law says prevents anybody to go to the court system. But if an intermediary is interested in resolving this within the system of law and the rules, we have provided an escalation mechanism where there is a GSE that will address it. If they are dissatisfied with the GSE's order, they can go to the courts, of course. As of today, as I've said to you today, our approach towards jurisprudence and laws is evolving. We would like this to be a partnership between the government and the intermediaries to make sure that the internet is a safe and trusted space for our 120 crore Indians. Okay. Now, if it needs a further modification of the rules, we will not hesitate to do it. If it needs a new law, as I have indicated earlier, we will not hesitate to come up with new legislation. Our mission, and we believe it is our duty, that the 120 crore Indians who are online must feel safe and trusted on the internet. That is our mission.
Yes, Sir Sankar from Gujarat. Sir, I want to ask you that the GSC, the constitution of this, when you say independent members, would these also be from social media companies or would these be professors from IIT?
So Sankar, on the GSC, we will have a separate structure. We believe the GSC is an important institution. And so I will not say anything very facetiously or casually or flippantly about the GSC. We will come back and present the structure, the organization, and the workings of the GSC very shortly.
So just one more point. So to Aditi's question, it actually says English or any language. So just to clarify, it could be English or any language, right?
You must understand the spirit of what we are doing today. We are trying to tell the intermediaries and work with all the intermediaries to say that there are going to be 120 crore Indians who are going to be using the internet. And it is possible that a large number of these citizens are going to use different types of platforms. They come at the internet with various different types of language background, geographical background. it is, I have not used the word, we have not used the word inclusion as a mandate. It is very easy for us to add that word and say it is mandated. But look, the model that we are adopting with all things technology is that there is a partnership between the government and the innovation ecosystem that basically straddles the internet of the tech ecosystem. So we are queuing there, saying, look, there is this thing about multiple languages. We are not mandating anything currently, but that doesn't mean that we will not mandate it if there's a need to mandate it. We did not mandate the GAC in May 2021. We, in good faith, thought that intermediaries, by appointing a grievance redressal officer, would automatically understand that the grievance redressal officer is supposed to address grievances, not have some tokenism there. Now, if some people haven't understood that, that is why we are in a sense forced to have the GAC. हाँ हाँ जरूर जा सकते हैं, इसमें कोई बैन नहीं है, एकदम जा सकते हैं. जैसे आप जानते ही हैं कि अगर सीसीआई का कोई किसी को ऑर्डर मिलता है वो जा सकते हैं कोर्ट, एनक्लेव जा सकते हैं. नेचुरल जस्टिस का जो प्रिंसिपल है हम कभी उसमें कोई बाधा नहीं डालेंगे, लेकिन हम ये कह रहे हैं कि सिटीजन्स और डिजिटल नागरिक का भी नेचुरल जस्टिस का जो प्रिंसिपल्स है उसको भी प्रोटेक्ट करना चाहिए. इसीलिए हमने आर्टिकल 14, 18 और आर्टिकल 14, 19 और 21 का बात किया है इस पे, और हम इसलिए हमने जीएससी के बात किया है.
I just wanted to understand, like आपने बोला कि we gave them an opportunity, but they were not ready to listen. What?
No, I didn't say any of this, huh?
Not exactly. I'm not quoting the word, but it was tokenism. So what kind of violations or what kind of reluctance did you find from the company? Were there glaring cases where they were not ready to listen to citizens?
I am willing to go on record and say we have lakhs of messages from citizens and digital nagriks whose grievances were not responded to, apart from either by just saying we have received your grievance, thank you for sending the grievance, or no response at all. And that is not acceptable for us. When we say the internet should be open, we mean openness in a certain construct. When we say that the internet, we owe it to our citizens to have the internet open and safe and trusted, we mean safety and trust means a range of issues. When we say accountability, accountability means if a citizen has a problem, real or imaginary, it becomes the obligation of the intermediary to respond to that problem, real or imaginary, in a manner satisfactory to the digital nagrik. वो जब तक नहीं होगा हम उस पे we will keep looking for ways to make sure it happens.
Is penalty also one of the ways going forward?
Look
at something like that.
You know, our government, our Prime Minister does not like to bring in punitive into laws if we can avoid it. I think we all understand that this is a common goal and a common mission to make the internet safe and trusted. I can't believe any intermediary wakes up in the morning and says, let's do everything to make the internet not safe and trusted. Nor should an intermediary wake up in the morning and say, no, we want to escape accountability. We will work with them, and only as a last resort will we resort to the need to incorporate penalties.
I will go one by one. Ashish, please. Sir, in the coming days, will there be any parameters on which kind of result of the grievances officer can be appealed to the GAC or?
No, look, I have said this, Ashish, earlier also. We are all learning as we go along. What we did not know in February 2021 and May 2021, we know today. What we don't know today, maybe we'll find out 6 months later. And I have told you that this whole internet space, we will continue to evolve our approach. I am saying again, through you, to the intermediaries, and of course I'll be meeting with them as well, that we don't see this as a binary saying that this is our goal and this is not your goal. This is not about regulating intermediaries as much as saying these are our common goals, and that intermediaries must work with the government to achieve these common objectives of safety and trust. Because again, Ashish, let me say one more thing. I'll tell you why safety and trust. We have a $5 trillion economy goal. We have a $1 trillion digital economy goal. A significant part of the $1 trillion digital economy is on or adjacent to the internet. So safety and trust on the internet is not just a it's not just a simple statement of rhetoric. It is also a real economic issue for investments, for jobs, all of that.
Sir, Momita from PTI, how do you respond to critics who have said that this will perhaps give a greater handle to the government to decide content on internet and on social media platforms?
No. So we are not addressing content at all. We are addressing only grievances.
GST will sit in decision of overriding what the social media platforms have decided.
No, I'm repeating in slow motion that we are not overriding anything. The GSE's role, and we will be more than happy to share the GSE once the institutional framework is ready. We will share it with the public and we will share it with the media. The GSE is here to sit as an appellate body in the event that the consumers, who are the most important stakeholders in the internet, are dissatisfied with the grievance process run by the intermediary.
So the other thing is on the structure, sir. Will there be any, I know it's going to be appointed by the government, but will there be any government official on it?
It says that. It says that there will be one government official and two independent. Yes, of course.
And two independent.
Yes. And in any event, my issues today, don't spend too much time dwelling on that, because we will come back to you. And we will take all the questions and you can kick all the tires of the GSE when we present the GSE to you. So I think today we are only talking about that need for an escalation or of an unsatisfactory or dissatisfied consumer in the grievance addressal process. Yeah.
My name is Ashit. Will GSE have any kind of slow motor powers to take down content or to take up challenge the decisions made by grievance officers? Slow motor powers.
Slow motor to nahi hoga. As of today, we do not see the need for the GSE to have any slow motor powers.
Just want to understand when that the intermediaries are making reasonable effort for the user to post and can you elaborate a bit on that, because it seems the onus is now being put on users rather than
No, it's the onus is on the intermediary. No, the onus is on the intermediary to make sure that there is no, from Schedule 3.1, that entire schedule, except for those exceptions, they have the obligation to make sure that their content moderation policies ensure that type of content does not find place on the platform. Simple. No. I'll explain how this works, just so that you understand. Intermediaries today are protected under Section 79. Section 79 from any prosecution relating to content on the platforms. That is the blanket safe harbor that they have. If you violate the rules or you are not in compliance with the rules, basically what happens, the consequential impact is not punitive, not financial as of now, is that you lose your safe harbor status. Which means that if I am aggrieved by a content on your platform and you are the intermediary, I can then go to the courts and get natural justice through the court system. You have no protection that the IT Act has so far provided you. That's all it does. So therefore, if you want to continue to be an intermediary, there are certain obligations that are cast on you by the IT rules. And those obligations include A, making very clear what type of do's and don'ts you have for your platform. B, making sure that if there is illegal content as defined in the rules, you are taking reasonable effort to make sure those content are removed. And C, even if you are unable to do it with your content moderation, whatever algorithm, people, whatever, when reported, that content has to come down in 72 hours. We're giving you 72 hours. Frankly, I am of the opinion 72 hours is too long. And it was 24 hours during consultation, but it was widely felt that this is early days, so let's keep it at 72, and then progressively as the platforms and intermediaries gain their capacity and capability, we'll create a shorter window. That's the background.
Ashmit, you may go next. Two-part question. First one, GSE. Historically, courts have frowned on organizations and bodies which perform coercive functions but don't have official members. So is that concern?
Look. I think that is something we heard in the consultation process as well, that this is not statutory. We'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
So your question was, again on GSE, you mentioned that there's a vast volume of complaints which are not addressed in the current mechanism. Does that then require for significant bandwidth from GSE in terms of various benches, yes, if you have a number?
No, look, see, here are the two scenarios that will arise out of this. One is that intermediaries understand that accountability is an important aspect of what we seek from them. We, as in the people of India and the citizens and the users, seek from them. And they respond better. That is one option. That they address their own grievance addressal mechanism, they do it in a better way, they do create more capacity there. If they don't create capacity, obviously someplace the capacity has to be created. Then the GSC creates the capacity. And I have said this repeatedly. It is not an area that the government is very keen to get into. We are doing this very, very reluctantly, and we are doing this because we have an obligation and duty to the digital Nagriks कि उनके ग्रीवियंस को कोई सुने. अगर सुनने वाला है नहीं प्लेटफॉर्म पे तो सरकार तो सुने. अगर वो सुनने शुरू करेंगे वो then we don't have the need for an expanded GSC. You understand? I said this earlier also, that it is really a disincentive. The GSC is a disincentive to the intermediaries not to continue the status quo casual way of approaching grievance redressal.
सर मैं पीयूष पांडे हूं.
हाँ जी.
समिति जो गठित की जाएगी,
हाँ जी,
उसकी प्रक्रिया और उसमें किस तरह के सदस्य होंगे उसके बारे में जरा.
पीयूष जी, मैं आज नहीं बोलूंगा इसके बारे में. इसके बारे में एक सेपरेट कॉन्वर्सेशन होगा, क्योंकि हम मानते हैं ये जीएससी बहुत ही एक अहम, बहुत ही एक महत्वपूर्ण इंस्टीट्यूशन बनेगा आने वाले दिनों में, इंटरनेट के लिए भी, इंटरमीडिएट्स के लिए भी और अलग अलग चीजों के लिए. तो इसके बारे में हम एक स्पेसिफिकली डिफरेंट प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस करेंगे. इसका स्ट्रक्चर क्या होगा, मूल रूप से उसका कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन क्या होगा, पावर्स क्या होंगे, स्कोप्स क्या होंगे, टर्म्स ऑफ रेफरेंस क्या होगा, उसका डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म कैसा रहेगा और कब शुरू होगा.
Towards the end.
Sorry?
Sir, they are asking for
there's some people. Online. Why don't you ask? We'll come back to you in a bit. Online पूछ लीजिए. Who's online?
I think Mr. Asim wanted to ask a question.
Yes, बोलिए असीम.
सर एक तो ये कि एक दिन में लाखों से ज्यादा भी कंप्लेंट आ सकते हैं, क्योंकि 80 करोड़ लोग हम ऑलरेडी यूज कर रहे हैं. तो 1 लाख कंप्लेंट को डील करना क्या आसान होगा ये जीएससी के लिए? और दूसरा ये कि जीएससी के जो डील का ट्रांसपेरेंट होगा, कौन कौन से ऑर्डर जो है उसके जो सारे हटाने के, कंटेंट हटाने के ऑर्डर जो है ऑनलाइन होंगे?
नहीं, ये तो मैंने एक तो ये कहा है कि हमें उम्मीद ये है कि इंटरमीडियरीज और प्लेटफॉर्म्स अपना जो ग्रीवेंस एड्रेसल का जो मैकेनिज्म है उनका, उस पर उनका सुधार होगा, वो कैपेसिटी बढ़ाएंगे और अपने डिजिटल नागरिक जो हैं, कंज्यूमर्स हैं, उनके ग्रीवेंसेस को बेहतर एड्रेस करेंगे. ये एक उम्मीद है. ये अगर उम्मीद सच नहीं हुआ या साकार नहीं हुआ तो फिर आप जो कह रहे हैं कि जीएससी पर बहुत बड़ा बोझ पड़ेगा. लेकिन जीएससी के बारे में हम एक अलग प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस करेंगे. जीएससी के पूरे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन और फ्रेमवर्क और टर्म्स ऑफ रेफरेंस के बारे में एक अलग सा एक हम एंगेजमेंट करेंगे आपके साथ. आज नहीं. Come, let's go back to. Okay.
Sir, two questions. First is that if this GST, if it also deals with products, services, like fintech, misinformation, then don't you think then that they will also have to go on kind of fact-finding mission of what is wrong, what is right, and it's like it overlaps with what consumer tribunals do.
So I get your question. So I think, first of all, there's some basic principal issues. One is that all intermediaries are covered by the IT intermediary, the rules. So the rules don't separate fintech, social media. All intermediaries are covered by the IT Act, and therefore all intermediaries are covered by the rules. Point number one. Do all consumers of all intermediaries have the same type of intense grievance addressal complaints? We have looked at what we are receiving. We receive some more than the others. They are a little bit more lumpy towards certain types of platform and not so lumpy towards other types of platform. The GSE sits today on appeal of all grievance officers. This is the model. But if we find going forward, that is why I said we will have a separate conversation about the nature, type, numbers, terms of reference of GSC. If there is a need for having multiple GSCs, dealing with multiple type of grievances, these are all things that we will think through. It is not the idea is not to say there will be 3 people sitting with 80 lakh issues that they are going to deal with. ऐसा नहीं है, थोड़ा सोच समझ के काम करते हैं हम. So we will come back. We understand this, that we will address the GAC's capacities, the numbers. But like I said, it is our fond hope that the intermediaries will do a much better.
Cost of running these GACs, that they also have to bear the burden.
You are giving me ideas, so maybe I'll sit and consult with you on these ideas. Not a bad idea.
सेंसिटिव कंटेंट को लेकर के हमेशा से सवाल रहता है ये कि जब वो अपलोड किए जाते हैं तो उसके बाद बहुत सारे लोग उसको अचानक देखते हैं और उसके बाद रिएक्ट भी करते हैं. कई ऐसी घटनाएं भी हुई जहाँ पर कुछ दंगों की शक्ल में वो बदल गई.
बहुत अच्छा.
ऐसे कंटेंट, ऐसे वीडियोस को तुरंत हटाने के लिए क्या ये GACs तुरंत वर्कआउट करेंगे?
नहीं, इसमें GAC का कोई रोल नहीं है. इसमें रूल्स का रोल है और हमने कहा है कि 72 घंटे में उसको निकालना चाहिए. आपने राइट नेल पे हथौड़ा मारा है. हमने ड्यूरिंग कंसल्टेशन और बिफोर कंसल्टेशन आवर आइडियाज़ की 24 घंटे में निकालनी चाहिए इसको, क्योंकि वायरलिटी और वेलोसिटी ऑफ वायरलिटी हमने देखा हुआ है नेगेटिव मिस इन्फॉर्मेशन का बहुत ज़्यादा है. तो मैंने आई हैड सजेस्टेड 24 आवर्स, लेकिन पब्लिक कंसल्टेशन हमने किया, उसमें लोग कहे कि नहीं 24 घंटा इज़ टू लेस, उसको 1 हफ्ते करो. तो नेगोशिएट करके थोड़ा कॉम्प्रोमाइज़ में आया है 72 आवर्स. But I will tell you on record, as a citizen, as somebody who understands technology, and lastly as an MOS in this ministry, that I believe 72 hours is too less. I will urge all the intermediaries, while this letter of the rule says 72 hours, that the spirit should be as fast as possible.
Well, there you have it, viewers. Union Minister Rajiv Chandrasekhar, in a very long press meeting as well, he has spoken about the GAC. He has spoken about how the government has gotten into this reluctantly, and that they want to build in entire principles of natural justice will not be violated in this entire matter, and that they have also stated that this is a step towards the $5 trillion economic goal, in which internet as well is adjacent. And this is not a simple statement of rhetoric as well. We're tracking the story very closely for you right now, slipping into a very short break and bringing you details on the other side.
Elon Musk completes his Twitter takeover, sacks the top Twitter officials, including the CEO, Parag Agarwal.
Rahul Gandhi was waded into the poaching controversy, saying that the TRS and the BJP are two sides of the same coin.
Fire has broken out in a godown in Kurla area of Mumbai. 8 fire tenders have been deployed.
BJP's IT cell head Amit Malviya said that he's decided to file criminal and civil proceedings against news website The Wire, and alleged that they forged documents with a view to malign and tarnish his reputation. The matter pertains to meta stories which were retracted by the news website. AAP will fight elections in Gujarat with Chief Minister's face. The party will run a campaign for the face of the Chief Minister. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal will also hold a news conference in Surat today on the same matter. In a big development, the Cyberabad police has moved the Telangana High Court now. The police has submitted a remand copy against the verdict of ACB court order, which released 3 accused who allegedly attempted to poach the case. Uddhav camp MLA Kailash Patil staged protest in Osmanabad over several issues of farmers extending their support. The farmers joined the Uddhav camp. Meanwhile, the protest turned violent as the farmers vandalized and attacked public property as well. Mega crackdown on the PFI continues in Kerala. The National Investigation Agency has now arrested 13 absconding accused in the case. The accused was absconding and hailed from Kerala's Palakkad area.
And cutting across to some more dramatic visuals that we're getting from the national capital now, viewers, where the Aam Aadmi Party workers are staging a protest outside Delhi LG, I beg your pardon, Vinay Kumar Saksena's residence. We are getting you these images from the national capital where this protest in fact is going on right now. And we have been seeing the kind of friction between the LG and the Aam Aadmi Party as well, where And for now, moving on to more news coming in from across the country. Taking stock of the incident, the DGCA has ordered a detailed probe into the cause and suitable follow-up action that shall be taken in relation to the flight operation with regard to the Indigo flight. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Civil Aviation has also ordered officials to submit a report into the incident after looking into it. The air quality of the national capital continues to deplete. Now, the latest forecast shows that the air quality will remain in very poor category for the next 3 days.
पूरे सांस फूलते रहते हैं। फिलहाल गर्मी दुनिया